Hey guys, so this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, go down to my channel. It will be down below. But let's get back into it. So yeah, it was all a blur. This whole thing was just all a blur. I didn't know what was going on. I knew he was fixated on me, but then I didn't I don't remember kissing him or whatever. And I was just I remember him kissing me on the cheek and kissing my hand and stuff like that. And I told him I was married, and I was like, whoa. And then he's like, oh, he's like, oh, I just wanted to find my phone. I couldn't find it, and can I just use your phone to call it? Because I was on my phone smoking a cigarette at the time when he did this. I was like, okay, sure, why not, or whatever. And I just that's how he ended up putting his number in my phone and getting my phone number. And he literally put his whole name and everything or whatever in my phone and all of this stuff. I'm drunk. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He could have stole my social, not my social, but he could have stole all the shit information on my phone at the time. But yeah, that was pretty much that. And then I ended up leaving that situation, and I'm just I can't believe I put myself in that situation. I just got married. I'm in love. I'm happy. Why does my drunk self want that type of feeling and that type of attention again? And so my expectation of a marriage was that once I got married, I wouldn't have that feeling anymore. I wouldn't have that urges. I wouldn't have those thoughts. I wouldn't have those need to feel wanted and things like that. And I just couldn't wrap my head around that. And I was just why do I need this? So anyway, I sobered up. Before I sobered up, right? We went back home. John knocked out. The dude is texting me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, beautiful, I miss you," and all of this stuff. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, when can I see you again?" and all of this stuff. And I'm like, "What?" Kind of oh, I didn't like that. I'm still drunk. I don't really remember why or whatever, but I started writing some stuff. I can't even remember what I wrote because I was so drunk. But anyway, the next morning I'm just my head was pounding, and I'm just what is going on? And literally John woke up before me, and I guess he looked through my phone and saw the text messages. Again, I'm not trying to cheat on him or whatever, so I'm not trying to hide shit. He doesn't confront me about it, but a couple days later, I called my sister the next day, and I'm like, dude, I feel I already cheated on John already, and we just got married. She's like, dude, he just kissed you on your cheek, you didn't want it, you're not gonna do it again, just leave it alone. And I was like, no, I gotta tell him, I don't want our marriage to be on a lie or whatever. And I feel I just gotta tell him this happened, but it's not gonna happen again. And so she's like, no, don't do that. That's only gonna help you. It's not gonna help anybody else. You're not gonna do it again, so just keep it to yourself or whatever. But I didn't listen to her, and I told John a few days later, I guess, or whatever. And I told him, I was like, hey, at the club, this guy put, he kissed my hand and my cheek or whatever, and all of this stuff, and I just wanted to let you know, and things like that. And he's just like, oh, okay, that or whatever, or oh, I don't know, something oh, I know, or something like that or whatever. And he was like, oh, I went through your phone and I saw you were texting him and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Like, why would you go through my phone? Like, why would you go through my phone and do that type of shit? So I'm just like, I feel like I got mad at him, and I was just like, well, I need that. Like, I need that attention or whatever, and it's not like coming from you or some shit like that or whatever. And I was just like, oh, maybe I just like texting and flirting and being a flirt type thing. So I ended up like downloading this like flirting thing. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna download this flirting thing. He's like, oh yeah, you should go and download this flirting chat app or whatever and just flirt with random guys. So I downloaded it for like 2 days, and I was just like, ew, I don't want that. And so I ended up like deleting that app, and the guy's still talking to me, texting me and trying to talk to me, and I'm like, listen, dude, we're drunk, I'm sorry, like, I am married, I'm happily married, like, leave me alone. So he eventually left me alone. And yeah, that was the first time I cheated on my husband. But yeah, that was like, for me, that was like, my expectation was not like that at all. Like, I didn't expect myself to feel that need still. I thought it would all be kind of solved after getting married, but it wasn't. And it was very hard, and it was very difficult to be married. Like, marriage is hard. And so it's all of that, all of those things, all of our past, all of the history. If you've been with me from the beginning and listening to all my stories, you know that I've had lots of issues and I never dealt with them. But I never thought I would cheat on my husband. I mean, I didn't like sleep with the guy. Like, he kissed me on my cheek and I'm just like, whatever. But I never thought I would like be down that road, and I'm so glad that it didn't go further. Like, I'm so glad that it didn't. But I said to after that day, I was like, I'm not having that happen to me ever again. So I stopped going out. If I went out, I didn't get drunk like I used to. I cut back on my alcohol. I cut back on partying. I cut back on a lot of those shits. I'm like, I'm not going to put myself in that situation ever again. I don't want to have myself in that situation. I don't want to feel like I'm vulnerable. I thought that all the urges would go away once I'm married, but obviously it didn't. So I have to figure out a way how to, stay faithful to my husband. And that was a really hard decision. At the same time, it wasn't that hard because I knew that I wanted to stay faithful with my husband. So yeah, that was like the first month of marriage with us. Like, it was, honestly, I didn't expect that to happen, but I slipped up and I owned that shit, and I just picked myself back up and I said, I'm gonna stay away from that type of temptation or whatever. So that's pretty much it of how my reality was kind of like shattered from my expectations of marriage. I hope you guys like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell button down below. And if you think this like craziness of stories are over, honey, no. Okay, there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you guys are liking these videos and things. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.